Hey YouTube world, I'm going to try and keep this video short and sweet. This is me getting ready for winter. We're at the end of September now, so we're definitely in autumn here in central Pennsylvania. Very hot, long, dry summer, but we're starting to cool off. Last night got down to about 45, 48 degrees, so winter's definitely on the way, which I'm excited for. I'd love to have a few acres. I'd be going nuts cutting firewood and doing all kinds of stuff. So anyway, time to get out the kerosene heater. As you can see, I keep it in a bag. I keep it wrapped up in the garage all summer when I'm not using it. The tank is dry. I burn the wick off, okay, which is a very important thing to do. So yeah, I'll be getting this guy ready, which all that really means is filling it up full of kerosene. I picked this up in summer of 2015, so summer last year, for 20 bucks. I was driving down the street and a guy was selling crap out the front of his house, so I jumped on it. I got rid of that silly safety cage, ugly looking things they are. So for 20 bucks, this was a really good deal. These are about 130 bucks new. Now, kerosene locally here in central PA is about $3 a gallon for the K1 kerosene at the gas station. That's pretty expensive to use this as a main source of heat, so I don't. 50 cents an hour can add up really, really quick. Our main source of heat in the house is a natural gas-fired hot water furnace, okay, that pumps hot water through radiators in the house. And it's a very nice heat, and it's fairly economical, actually. My gas bill, natural gas bill in winter is about 100, maybe 120 bucks at the worst per month. So, but I figured out a very nice way, an economical way to use this guy last winter. The thermostat in the house, in the living room, in the main house is, main part of the house, I should say, is set at 68 degrees, which is fine during the day when you're moving around doing stuff. At night, when you just, sprawled out on the couch, I like it to be 73, 74. So what I do, instead of cranking up the thermostat, which means the furnace is coming on quite often, burning up gas, I will light this guy. I'll take it inside and burn it for an hour, right? In an hour, the house goes from 68 degrees to 75. Seriously. So for 50 cents, I get the house up to a very nice 75 degrees. My wife's yelling at me to turn it off and get it out because it's too hot. What that does for 50 cents, I've noticed that the furnace will not kick on. The thermostat, the house doesn't get back down to 68 degrees for 7 to 8 hours. So the furnace is not running for almost 8 hours, okay, for 50 cents. So these are too expensive to run, constantly as a main source of heat. But for 50 cents, I'm not burning up natural gas for 8 hours. That's a winner for me. Okay, so that's enough on the kerosene heater. We've all seen these before. You know what they are. I don't need to go over it. So, look, I think everyone should have one in case the power goes out. They're a really good source of heat. And people, look, you can pick these up cheap. A lot of people do buy them new when the power goes out. Then they store it for 4 or 5 years, and then they think they're never going to use it again, and they get rid of it, just like generators. So, all right, that's enough on the kerosene heater. I will pause for a minute. We'll move on to my next little winter prep item. Okay, I'm back. Right now, next part of my winter preparation is getting my oil lamps ready. Got a couple of new ones this year. I've used the Kmart and Walmart specials. You can pick them up for 7 to 10 bucks. A table style oil lamp. Which is different from a lantern. This is a hurricane or barn lantern, they're called. All right, that's the Deets. I'll flip that back up so you can see it. Okay, I'll get onto the Deets in a minute. All right, where will I start? I'll start with this one. I've sort of retired my Kmart special, which worked fine. I've retired that to the emergency stuff, or actually I'll probably make it up as a little emergency kit and give it away to a family member or friend or something. But I picked this one up at a flea market last week. I'm not into antique stuff. I'm not. I don't give a crap about old antique stuff. The reason I did get this is for the burner. Okay, I've done a little bit of research, And I wasn't really sure that, look, I'm not the kind of guy that thinks all the old stuff is better than the new stuff. Technology and development, things usually get better. But this old Queen Anne burner really does burn well. Okay, it came with the tank and the globe and everything. I don't know how old this is. As I said, I'm not into antiques, but this is a very nice burner. There is a real difference in the quality of the manufacturing. That said, it doesn't need to be anything special. There's nothing wrong with the modern ones, but this one, yeah, certainly does burn very nice. Put the globe back on. There we go. Now, there's a lot of talk about wicks. My opinion, there's a lot of funny talk about wicks. Let me pause that and I'll grab a wick so I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay, here is a new wick. 3/4 of an inch wide. Very common for these lamps. Now, a lot of people have done, videos on YouTube about oil lamp maintenance and wick cleaning and trimming and whatever. A lot of people say that you should trim the wick all the time. I disagree. You want a little bit of carbon build-up there. You kind of got to prepare the wick, and I don't know if I want to use the word season the wick, but I do not believe in trimming the black carbon from the wick all the time. I find whenever I do that, the oil lamp smells when it's burnt. Okay, so I've done a bit of research, and by far what I think the best thing is to do is to keep the wick trimmed straight across. That's the other thing. A lot of people talk about trimming the corners on a 45-degree angle. That gives you a pointy flame. You don't want a pointy flame. Okay, you want a wide, flat flame. That gives you more light. Okay, look how wide and big that flame is. Okay, if you trim the wick on the sides at a 45, you'll get a pointed flame like on a match. What that does, it doesn't, it won't be as bright, but also the point, you're giving the point an actual point to let off some black soot if it gets too high. Now, obviously, you shouldn't have it that high. If you're getting black soot, you need to drop it down, but that will happen sooner with a pointed flame and a pointed wick. All right, so the way I like to do that, you can use a good sharp pair of scissors, but this is 3/4 of an inch. I actually use a 1-inch wide, very sharp wood chisel. I set it square across on a piece of wood, one hit with a hammer, and it's like a guillotine. It's just trimmed perfectly, no little daggy bits or whatever. So the very next thing you do is what I'm doing over here with the Dietz wick that I just trimmed to basically set the wick. And what I did was I just dipped the tip of that wick in a little bit of kerosene. Now I'm burning it off. So that's the next thing you want to do. When you put in a new wick, make sure it's trimmed straight across. Don't worry about that little bit of fluff. That'll burn off. Just the tiniest bit of kerosene. Just put some on a little plate or something and just dip it and burn it off till it's gone. Then you'll have like some ash on the top of the wick. You just rub your finger across it, get rid of the ash, and you'll have a little black strip on there. That's now your wick is nicely prepared and ready to go. All right. So once again, look at the size of that flame. Now, if it was dark, you would understand what I mean. But yeah, keep a flat wick straight across. Don't do the pointed wick. This is much better. All right, so that's my Queen Anne. My latest pride and joy, a Rayo. Once again, I'm not into antiques. Okay, stumbled across the Rayo, and Look, once upon a time, a little while back, I picked up an Aladdin lamp and I sold it on eBay again. I picked it up and I made a little bit of money out of it, nothing really to speak of. That wasn't the point. But once I realised, looked into the mantles, I've had Coleman lamps, and the mantles, anything with a mantle is a pain in the butt. Once you burn them off, they are so fragile. And if something happens to that mantle, your lamp is out of action until you get another mantle, and they're usually pretty expensive. So screw the mantles. I discovered the Rayo is a round wick centre draft. Okay, what that means, it pulls air in through the holes at the bottom, comes up the tube all the way through the middle and feeds the flame from the centre. Okay, if you've seen, well, these actually burn on exactly the same principle as the kerosene heater, a round wick. Okay, these guys do not use, actually I won't take that off. These guys do not use a mantle at all. Now, here's another thing I discovered, thanks to YouTube. I don't know the gentleman's name, but showed actually the correct way of lighting one of these. I've got the wick up a touch. There we go. It's hard to do one hand, but pull the gallery up, turn it just a touch so it stays there, and you can light it from there. Ooh, got the wick up too much. Then you just drop the gallery again. Okay, so you don't have to get your fingerprints all over your nice, pretty, clean globe. Now I'm going to leave that low for a minute to let it warm up. So, oil lamps, why do I use them? Well, they're cool. I turn out all the lights. I have this guy in the bathroom after we take a shower in the evening. It's a steamy, moist area that's prone to mildew. Okay, so you even light a candle in the bathroom, there's your mildew, no issues with mildew. All right, so it keeps the bathroom nice and warm and dry. And this guy, last winter I had another oil lamp in the living room. We'd turn out all the lights, and it was just a nice soft light. But this year it'll be the Rayo. The other benefit, heat. Even this guy here, look, I'll put my. That's as long as how high I'm off the chimney. I'm probably at least 6 inches off the top of the chimney there, and I can't hold my hand on it over the top. This guy is insane. The amount of heat that comes off this thing, I'm holding my hand like 18 inches off the top of the chimney or the globe, and I can't hold my hand there for more than a second when it's turned up like that. So not only do you get to turn out all the electricity, chill out, and just watch a movie with some very nice soft light, but you've got some heat keeping the house nice and warm. So even last year in the living room, without using the kerosene heater, right, this would bring our living room up 2 degrees in about an hour and a half. Seriously. So not only do you get some nice mood lighting, get some good heat. And if you burn these things correctly, if your wick is set up correctly and trimmed and burnt off correctly, prepared correctly, and you burn them at the correct height, nice and high without soot. So if you turn it down low, the flame gets a little orange, right? Turn it up, you get a more yellow, almost a white flame. And just at the point where the flame is starting to dance and jiggle around a little bit, do a little jig. And you'll know, don't put your face over the top, but just like wave it over and this is going to sound weird, you'll smell heat, but you won't smell kerosene, especially if you use the good, clean K1 kerosene. So you'll know if you smell it, it's not been burnt correctly. All right, guys, I'm going to finish this off. This is much longer than I intended to be. Sort of got carried away with myself. Oil lamps, great. The Dietz Hurricane Lantern, sorry to say, I thought these were pretty cool. Bought one, disappointed with it. These are definitely an outdoor lantern. They're not an indoor lamp. If that's all you got, if the power goes out, okay. But no matter what kerosene I use, no matter what I do, how I burn the flame at a nice clean setting. These guys just don't burn as clean as those. There's always a little bit of smell with these. All right, so definitely an outdoor thing, unless you really, if you got one of these and that's all you have, sure, you're going to have to use it, but this is what you want for inside. So you can pick these up new for $10. I picked this up, this antique Queen Anne, for $10, so I chose that, and it does burn very nice. All right, guys, hey, thanks very much.